Wagwan, everybody. I am your Jamaican queen, Miss Y. You are tuned into How I See It TV, and this is Accurate Context. So, I tuned into Love and Marriage Huntsville Saturday's episode. I don't even know what episode they're on, child, but I tuned in and I got some thoughts, but I'm going to give my commentary, but it's going to be based on context. Now, I know that I have Mel and Chris Fletcher up, but before I get into my thoughts on their scene, I would like to say this about Kimmy. Kimmy is the epitome of messy bone collector because she's having sit downs with Trish, and she's talking to Trish about Melody, and then she's going back to Melody with what her and Trish talked about, and she's leaving out details, and then she is going to Destiny with things that Nell Fletcher said, and possibly also going to Nell Fletcher with things that Destiny has said. And this is how you stir the pot. And essentially, she is doing what she accused Melody of. Because what Kimmy wanted Melody to do was to say whatever she needed to say or ask whatever questions she needed to ask to Kimmy directly. Kimmy is not even giving Melody that same level of respect. And in my opinion, it's because Kimmy is still in her feelings about Melody speculating and asking questions about lipstick on Maurice's shirt. And that's okay, Kimmy. But on that, you're being messy, going from Trish to Destiny, talking about Melody and talking about things that Melody has going on, and the supposed entanglement of Trish and Martell because you want to continue to stick it to Melody. But guess what, Kimmy? You're not doing anything new. This has been your position since season 1 of the show. And that is to be messy, and to be messy specifically towards Melody. The only time you took a break from being messy bone collector, Kimmy, was when your storyline was your journey with cancer. But you also wasted that storyline talking about your husband wanting intimacy, physical intimacy from you while you're going through chemo and not feeling like it. But anyways, let's go on to the scene that I have up here, and that's Melody speaking with Chris Fletcher. And Chris, you've been caught in a lie about 3 times now. Because see, when you went out with the guys bowling with, what was it, Ken and Martell, and I think Courtney was there, Marsaw, all the men were in that scene. You acted as if you didn't have a clue who this Trish girl was. And then, even in that scene at the bowling alley, you said that you knew her first name. Now, when you get into the scene at the open house, you said you gave him her last name or something like that. And now you are telling Melody in this scene that what you did was give Martell a last name, and Martell was able to use that last name to find Trish on Instagram. It's not making sense. It's given. These are the conversations that you and Martell always had. And that is about finding women, or finding women for each other. And it's now catching up to you on the show. That's how I feel about it. And for people like Kimmy, because Kimmy, you didn't tell Melody in the scene with her that you felt like she shouldn't have been asking Tish or Trisha or whatever her name is the questions that she was asking. You didn't tell her that. But anyways, for people like Chris Fletcher and people like Trish Trish and Kimmy and Tisha who feel like Melody shouldn't care because her and Martell aren't together, y'all need to understand this. Melody isn't asking questions because she gives AF about Martell. Melody is more aware than any of y'all that she is no longer with that man, and she is quite happy to not be with that man. However, when Melody was questioning Trish, in my opinion, if I was in Melody's shoes, the questions that I saw Melody ask in the scene, or I heard Melody ask in the scenes, for me, the reason I would be asking those questions if I was Melody is to just make sure that I don't have in my circle, whether it's in real life or for a TV show, I don't have in my circle a woman who would sit and play in my face knowing that she had intimate relations with a man who was my husband at the point in time that he was my husband. I would want to know that a woman that I am trying to be cordial with, trying to get to know because she's now in the circle of friends that I'm in, I would like to know that the home that she was in was not the home that I was still very much living in. That she was not in my home, on my couch, on my bed, being intimate with my then husband, and then is now in my face trying to be friends. It's just like Tammy Roman and Tammy Roman and Evelyn Lozada back on Basketball Wives LA. Tammy Roman was building a friendship with Evelyn. She was actually starting to like Evelyn. Just for them to ambush her with this information that Evelyn was Tammy's then ex-husband, because at the time the dude was Tammy's ex-husband. But to be ambushed with that information while you were out here keying with the woman and thinking she's cool people, that's messed up. So Melody had every right to get those answers so that she could decide for herself if Trish is somebody that she wanted to move forward with in terms of, building a relationship, whether it be she's an acquaintance, an associate, whatever the case may be. It's a matter of principle. It's a matter of principle. So I said on social media, I said on Instagram during the episode that I could be, or you could be, the wealthiest person in the world. But if somebody comes to you and says, lend me $100, even though that $100 is a small piece of change for you, the principle is be impeccable with your word. So if you say that you are borrowing the $100 from me, don't feel like because I am this rich person that you shouldn't give me my money back, and then you want to sit in my face and act like it's all good because you're rich, you don't need the $100 back. And that's the principle that I feel like Melody is working with. She doesn't have to care about Martell to ask the questions that she is asking. And she doesn't have to care about Martell to ask Chris Fletcher, like, hey, during the point in time in my marriage where I felt like you were counseling Martell, were you actually one of the men who was telling him that if he was going to continue to cheat, he needed to cheat with women who would sign NDAs and stuff like that? Because if that's the case, then I have to reevaluate our friendship. I have to reevaluate the high regard that I still hold you in, because now I got a question. If the reason he wasn't willing to change, the reason he wasn't trying to hear anything that you were trying to tell him was because he knew that outside of my presence, you were sending 304s his way, and you were telling him that he can absolutely continue to cheat as long as women were signing NDAs. I don't think Melody was questioning Chris because of anything that had to do with Martell. Melody was questioning Chris because she cares about the friendship that she has with the Fletchers. Now, this scene at the storage facility with Destiny, Tisha, and Kimmy. Kimmy once again playing the role of bone collector. Girl, you know good and god darn well why Destiny was not at the event and would not have been receiving an invitation. I feel like Letitia Scott was being honest when she said that Destiny told her that her and Melody had a conversation and they were okay. But for the sake of a show and for the sake of continuing this narrative that Melody's just this bad person that Destiny definitely never wants to be friends with ever again, Destiny had to let Tisha know, like, no, that's not what I said. What I said was, she was all up on me, talking to me after she was online, talking mad ish about me. But Destiny, this is what you always do. You always want to start in the middle or at the end, just like Tisha. So I guess that's why y'all are good friends, child. But anyways, let's start from the beginning, Destiny, because you showed up on that girl's trip. And from what Melody said on her TikTok live, that y'all had a little moment and that was squashed. And all of a sudden, you get back to Huntsville and you're on your YouTube. You're doing all these interviews. I'm talking about you're with Danica from Bossip. You're over there at Bro Chat. You're with Giving You the Real Tea. You are doing interviews with Heavenly. And every Monday night, you on Messy Mental Health Mondays with your Messy Life coach, Dion, and your target in every single conversation is Melody. To the point where Melody is on her TikTok live having a conversation about one of her friends talking about trauma in terms of being a motherless daughter. And your life coach takes it upon herself to bring up this conversation on your Messy Mental Health Mondays because somehow y'all felt like Melody was talking about Destiny. So that's happening along with all these interviews that you've done. And you do the interview with Dr. Heavenly, where once again, you bring up this misinformation about Melody using your credit card. And Melody was like, you know what? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Let me take to my TikTok and clear some things up. Let me provide evidence of the fact that I wasn't using your credit card because I was just out here broke and destitute or whatever. And that I was actually paying down your credit cards. And that we were good in St. Thomas and we left on a good note. So why are you back in the USA trying to drag me for filth on all these different podcast and interview platforms? And then you're going to think that I'm not going to respond. And remember, y'all, during the season, Kimmy told Destiny that Melody felt like, you're speaking badly about her. And Destiny says, well, if she thinks that, me telling the truth is me speaking badly about her, well, Destiny, then it's the same thing. You feeling like Melody's talking ish about you because Melody is actually presenting proof to debunk your lies? You believe that somebody being a decent human being and saying hello to you at an event because in real life you are not the center of their thoughts. You are not even the last thing on their list of things that they think about. So if they're in the same vicinity as you feel like if they say hello, if they say, nice outfit, if they say, I like your hair, that means that they're all upon you or they're all on you or whatever. Girl, you're Delulu. So here goes Destiny saying that Sunny is thirsty and Melody is vengeful simply because Sunny was at the Mimosas with Melody event. And my thing is, Destiny, girl, it's okay to understand that you are not the center of everybody's universe. It's okay to understand that you don't live rent free in Melody's or Sunny's brain and that they really don't mean you any harm and that they're living life the way they see fit and they don't owe you any considerations or obligations. Melody even said during the episode last week that Sunny reached out to her and said, hey girl, you posted the flyer for Mimosas with Melody. I'm gonna come through and support you. And Melody was like, okay, cool. And Melody didn't go out of her way to invite Sunny to the event. It was a public event. Now, let me add some accurate context to that. As some of you may know, I attended Mimosas with Melody in Huntsville. Now, Melody posted the flyer. It had, the date, the time, and it had the Eventbrite link, and it had the state and city the event was being hosted in. Now, you would have to click the Eventbrite link and purchase a ticket before you would know the actual location or the event space the event was being hosted at, right? And you weren't notified that the event was being filmed until after you had purchased your ticket. So Sunny, seeing the flyer and whatnot, wouldn't have known that the event was being filmed. Remember, Mimosas with Melody was hosted in March in Atlanta, and that wasn't filmed. So why does Destiny feel like Sunny's actions has anything to do with her? And Destiny, why do you feel like Melody being welcoming towards Sunny has anything to do with you? Girls, stop being so delulu. Stop living in the state of victimhood when it comes to Melody. She's not checking for you, boo. So stop checking for her so much. It's a high level of obsession that you have when it comes to Melody, Destiny, that you need to let go of. Let go, girl. Let go. Now, this scene at Destiny's relaunch of Something That Gotta Do with Madani was pretty interesting to me. Because here is Destiny understanding that her friend, Nell Fletcher, should not be cool with Sunny, who Destiny feels has done her harm. However, when Melody was in the thick of it during her divorce with Martell, Destiny, your statement in a scene with Martell was that y'all are grown and Melody shouldn't be telling you who you should or should not be cool with, especially because you and Martell have been friends since y'all were kids, right? Which is a lie, because you already shared on the Ladies First panel that one, y'all didn't even go to the same school with each other, that y'all didn't really hang out one-on-one, and that you left Huntsville in middle school. So essentially, you met Melody and Martell in adulthood, in the space in life that Martell was in. You were meeting him, in my opinion, for the first time when you got with LeBerick. And somebody pointed out that if Destiny and Martell were childhood friends, then Destiny would have known LeBerick in childhood, because LeBerick and Martell were childhood friends. So how comes in all the hanging out that Destiny claimed and growing up with Martell that she did and going to the same school as Martell, on your wedding invitation, you all claim to have met each other in 2013? Make that make sense. And you knew everything that Martell was putting Melody through because she told you. You went over to Martell's house and you said, Melody and I were on the phone all day long together. Melody sat in a scene with you when you were showing her a house, telling you how she was supposed to be in the marital home, but Martell refuses to move out. And now he is trying to take her to court for full custody of the children. You knew all of this. And as a mother, and also as a woman going through a divorce yourself, you did not know that the side that you should have been on was Melody's side. But now you want to look in Miss Nels Fletcher's face and say you feel some type of way because she wants Sonny to be at her bachelorette party. I don't feel like the injury that you feel that Sonny has caused you, Destiny, is as big as the injury that Martell caused Melody. And you didn't pick a side. You have sat also on your Instagram live and you said that you and Moses were done 2 years. 2 years prior to him and Sonny getting together. So why are you upset that Nell Fletcher is like, I like the girl? You and Moses weren't married or anything like that. It was a clean break as far as you've said yourself, Destiny. So why does Nell Fletcher have to hold this huge grudge against Sonny when you couldn't even do that when it came to Melody and Martell? You can't even do that when it comes to Martell and Tisha. Because Martell disrespected Letitia in the worst way, and then you still sat on a phone and told him where y'all were about to meet for lunch. And even though Tisha is your friend, as she got up to walk out, you didn't grab your purse and walk out behind her too. You sat there and chose Martell. And then even realizing that Tisha wants nothing to do with Martell, you still said, well, I'm still going to invite my friend Martell to my relaunch and still subject Letitia to being in the presence of a man who told you to your face, Destiny, that he was going to continue to drag her for filth. But you want Nell Fletcher to not invite Sonny to her bachelorette party just because you're still carrying some buddy feelings. Destiny, you are supposedly dating Lance Fletcher. So why you still talking to his mama about some buddy feelings that you are carrying for Moses? Girl, let that go too. For this last scene, I'll say this. It was 50-50 for me. Martell got some hits in and Marsau got some hits in. But once again, Tisha was made to be subjected to Martell saying some really nasty things about her. Now, do I care? I really don't. What I feel when it comes to this scene, y'all, is a level of indifference. These people that we're looking at on our screen right now, Martell, Marsau, and Tisha, they're all snakes. In my opinion, they were all in cahoots to rip Melody apart. The minute Martell and Melody were separated and were going through a divorce, every single person on the cast became 100% Team Martell. And they were on the sidelines applauding him or staying or remaining silent while he did the most despicable things that he could to Melody, including, in Tisha's own words, showing the men intimate, private videos of Melody. They chose to believe all the lies that Martell was feeding them about Melody, including things that she was supposedly saying about them or doing to them behind the scenes. They believed it all. And now they have to sit in the mess that they made, and now they have to sit and face the monster that they helped to create. So I say, let the snakes attack each other. And that's what's happening here. So again, I feel a level of indifference. I do think, though, it was sad that Marsau did not allow Letitia to get up and walk away when she stated that she wanted to leave because she didn't feel like she needed to be present for the conversation. Instead, he told her to sit down, and while she was sitting there, Martell continued to disrespect her. That's not how you protect. That's not how you protect. And in the end, Marsau's jabs that he gave wasn't even about defending his wife. It was about his own ego and bringing Martell down a notch. That's all that was about. But as I said, I feel a level of indifference. Let the vipers attack each other. And that's just how I see it. So thank y'all for tuning in. I do appreciate your continued support. Remember to drop down in the comment section and let me know how you see things too. Remember to like this video, share the link to my channel if you feel like the content needs some more crowd. Subscribe if you have not done so as yet. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, now called X, at How I See It, and on TikTok at How I See It TV. Until my next video, I know that I will see y'all in these YouTube streets. So walk good. Bye.